Yeah, we had a series of storms come through last night, starting probably 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and finished early this morning. And with all the damage and lightning and rain and wind, we ended up with about 155,000 customers out of power.
5,000. Okay. And is that problem going to be resolved anytime soon, or is there like a timeline they can give?
Yeah, I mean, certainly it is. I mean, we understand that the inconvenience on our customers. So right now we have the better part of 1,400 folks working this particular outage through the whole state of Ohio. And we've called out for external resources from other companies, and we have another 400 or 500 coming in this evening and into tomorrow morning to help us continue to work the outages.
Okay. And obviously it's like very difficult on your customers because it's very, very hot, and without power there's no AC. And like, is there any maybe like some tips or recommendation, or like how they're gonna fight against that?
Well, I tell you, this is what we do as an electric company. When big storms come through, it's all hands on deck, and we will work 24/7 until this thing is completed. We anticipate that for a few customers it will probably go into the weekend, but by and large, most of the customers, I mean, just alone today, we've gotten probably somewhere between 60 and 70,000 customers back in electric power.
Okay. And so obviously you guys kind of know the storm is coming in, and is there, like, what were you guys doing to kind of like prepare for that?
So we start a couple days ahead of time when a storm's coming in. We run an incident action plan. We staff up like many emergency agencies across the U.S. We prepare our mechanics. We prepare all the contract workers we have on the property. We make sure that folks are ready to come in and work. They're well hydrated days in advance. Our vehicles are ready. And we put out calls to even partners outside of the area to make sure they're prepared to come in and help us should we get hit. Because sometimes you have a storm that doesn't, produce much damage, and sometimes you have one like we had last night that produces a significant amount of damage.
Okay, and let me see. So you say kind of like 100,000+ customers got impacted. Do you have any like area that are specifically like more severe than the other ones?
Well, it pretty much hit through the entire state. AEP Ohio is in northwestern Ohio, and then central and east Ohio, almost from the lake all the way down to the border. And it pretty much moved through the whole of the state of Ohio, and pretty evenly distributed the number of outages and damages we had across the whole state. So there's something else that actually has happened today in Columbus, Ohio itself. So based on the storm damage that came through, Columbus, central Ohio, we got cleaned up, we call it cleaned up pretty quickly today. We went from, I can't remember the exact number, somewhere around 30,000 customers down to just a few thousand today. But we had, with the heat that came in today, and part of the system still being damaged from our storm, as the heat came up and the load on our system came up, there were some sections of our system that weren't able to manage the load because the system's not completely put back together yet. And so we've had a series of outages that have happened within the past couple of hours, affecting about 80,000 customers in Columbus.
Okay.
That we've had, we've had to open up the system and take those customers off the system for loading reasons so that there wouldn't be even wider spread outages in the Columbus area.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So the peak of the heat is going to go through 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, and it'll start to cool down a little bit. And as we're working to rebuild the system, the pieces of the system in Columbus that still aren't put back together, all right, then we'll start putting those customers back on this evening and tonight. And our hope is to have the system fully restored by tomorrow during the heat. But there is some risk that even going into tomorrow, if we can't get everything fixed and put back, we may again have a series of outages and customers affected.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And is there anything you guys would like to add?
One of the things that I want to make sure that everyone recognizes, we have, by this evening, we'll probably have close to 2,000 resources on the system working 24/7, 365 in the heat ourselves. We don't like the inconvenience on our customers. And we're pretty committed to customer service and to getting all the customers back and their air conditioning back and getting their quality of life back. And we won't stop until we're done.